Okay, it's 10:44 a.m. If you listen to my last Eastern Standard Time, Friday, January 4, 2019. Now, if you listen to my last video when I just spoke to a talking rep, they claim Coinbase is not a financial institution, but yet I live in New York State. They're registered with they have to be registered with this. Okay. They have to be registered in New York State and Department of Financial Services. Financial Services. But they claim they're not a financial institution. They offer financial services, but they're not a financial institution. Something's not right here, okay? If you listen to the conversation I just had with their 6-month talking head rep, so to prove this, I'm going to call up the Department of Financial Services, right? I do not understand how they could say they're not a financial services company when you have to be registered of the Department of Financial Services. So now we're going to call up the Department of Financial Services and ask them.
Thank you for calling PEO. If you know your party's extension number, you may enter it at any time. For our company directory, press 1. To return to our receptionist, you may press 0. Or if you prefer to leave a message in our general delivery mailbox, please press 5. Thank you. Wait while I transfer your call.
You can see right here, even the bank has to consent. Standard Chartered Bank.
Thank you for calling PEO.
Good morning. I have a question I'd like to ask. If somebody's registered with the New York State Department of Financial Services, they're considered a financial institution?
Yes.
Oh,
that's a pretty easy question.
Yeah, because somebody I have a problem with, and I'm telling them to comply, with transparency. They're supposed to divulge the officers on their staff in case you see a name there that has gotten in trouble in the past. You can not incur the risk. They will not give me the officers' names.
I don't know if they're entitled to keep that to themselves, but I'm going to transfer you to someone who probably, transfer you to the legal department who probably help you out.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. You're going to be speaking to Stephanie Reagan, all right?
Stephanie Reagan, thank you. Now, as you can see, already the Department of Financial Services says yes, they are a financial institution.
They are, yeah.
Yes, I'm making a recording this.
Okay, here you go.
Hi, Mrs. Reagan. This is John Russo. I was redirected here to ask a question.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, anybody that's registered on the Department of Financial Services is they're considered a financial institution. And if you're going to invest in their company and you ask them for, disclose your offices, to weigh the risk, because you might see Ivan Boesky on the list. You never know, and you'll go somewhere else. Is that legal for them not to disclose the offices? The holders of the keys of the vault, basically.
I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know why they sent you to me. Truth be told, I have no idea. You know what you do? Your best thing is just Google it and see what it comes up. I just don't know.
But to be registered on a financial institution, if they're registered with you guys, they are considered a financial institution.
Right.
Yeah. All right. That's all. That's all I need to know. But I'll Google the rest, like you said. It's very helpful anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. I really.
Well, just on the general question I gave, I got confirmed by 2 people over there, so that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, good. You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye. So as you can see, I live in New York. These guys on the phone claim they're not a financial institution, but meanwhile they have to be registered in the New York Department of Financial Services, which makes them a financial institution, which makes them, you see, Department of Finance issues consent order to Standard Chartered Bank. Even a bank has to go to in New York to get registered with these guys. So, and Coinbase is registered in these guys, okay? So now we know that their rep, 6-month rep, just lied to me or doesn't have any clue what he's doing. So, and what I said, because I knew this, they registered with NYDFS. So I knew they're considered a bank, a financial institution, but yet these idiots over at Coinbase know we're not. So why are they doing this? Why would they state that to me, something that I know that's not the truth? Okay, they're a financial institution. First of all, they're supposed to be honest with their clients. They have failed that right off the bat. And you just heard me on the phone with the financial institution. They said, yes, they are. All right, in New York, maybe. I'm in New York. I'm applying my jurisdiction's rules. I don't know about anybody else. You might want to check. If they're registered under your Department of Financial Services, then they are a financial institution. In my state, they are. All right? Now, let's see if they have to disclose the offices that are running the exchange. You know, I don't understand this because I know some people that are higher up and their pictures all over the website saying, I am the CFO of blah, blah, blah. Okay, customer due diligence required for financial institutions. It's right there. This is the Federal Register, okay? FinCEN. Now we'll be calling these people again today. FinCEN is issuing final rules on the bank seeks to clarify, strengthen customers' due diligence required for banks, brokers, and dealers. This is the next guy we're going to call. Here it is. The rules contain explicit customer due diligence required and include a new requirement to identify and verify the identity of beneficial owners of the legal entity customers, subject to certain exclusions and exemptions. So they're supposed to exclude certain exemptions, but the rule of is they have to disclose who the officers are. Verify the identity of the beneficial owners. When was this put up? This is old. This is like from 2016. Okay, this is where they're asking you to, right here, is that you have to identify yourself when you go to register with Coinbase, so they know that you're not a drug dealer or something. This is anti-money laundering, okay? But it's good to have this number because I'd like to call these guys up too. So we're gonna call FinCEN today too. So we know now we got another one. Another agency that should be watching these people, but they're not. Okay. Maybe we could generalize. See, you got to do this research yourself. If you don't know, you find out. Here it is, right here. SEC. Now, the SEC has ruled in October that Litecoin is a security. Okay? Now, here you go. Here you go. Disclosure obligation. It requires publicly owned to disclose certain types of business and financial data on a regular basis to the SEC and to the company stockholders. I see. This is where Coinbase won't disclose their offices. I don't think they issue stock. The SEC also requires disclosure of relevant business and financial information to potential investors when new securities, which would be Litecoin, was being included on the current system. The mandatory is known as integrated disclosure system. By amending some of its regulations, the SEC has attempted to make this system less burdensome on corporations by standardizing various forms and eliminating some differences in reporting requirements to the SEC and to shareholders. Directors and officers of the corporation must be identified. There you go. So they lied. They have to tell you. They do over-the-counter trading. Security additional applied to the securities and ownership of the securities. Officers, directors, principal stockholders, defined as holding 10% or more of the company's stock, a publicly owned company, must submit 2 reports to the SEC. These are Form 3 and 4. This requirement also applies to the immediate family of the company's officers, directors, and principal stockholders. They're supposed to tell you. The SEC in New York has ruled 2 times Litecoin is a security. So I don't know what these guys on the 6-month phone are telling you. You're seeing it right here. These are SEC disclosure laws. They're supposed to report it to the SEC. They're supposed to report it to the person, who's holding the stock or whatever, who's invested in it, which we are invested in Litecoin. They're supposed to give us this information. They're supposed to tell you who the officers are on the brokerage firm that's handling the issue. I don't care if it's 10 of them. Broker-dealers are also responsible for presenting the prospect to each customer for new security issues. Finally, members of the securities are subject to reporting requirements of their own self-regulated organization. There you go. They're supposed to comply. Security broker-dealers must provide their customers with confirmation form as soon as possible after the execution of an order. So that has to do when you buy something and you can't take it out. That you already bought it, you already own it. Why are these guys holding it? They're supposed to give you the confirmation and allow you to do with it. Yeah. It's a generally accepted accounting principle that financial statements must disclose all significant information that would be of interest to a concerned investor, creditor, or buyer. So if they go to make a loan to the bank and they got Ivan Boesky working at Coinbase, I think the bank might want to reconsider giving these guys a loan. That's why they have to disclose the offices. This is why these offices have to get on the phone with you. So this we found it on our own just by looking. So they have to disclose the offices. So they are registered with the New York Department of Financial Services. They are a financial institution. The rep that was on the phone in the previous video lied. Number two, they're supposed to tell me all the offices and give me their contact information so I can question them. They didn't do that. That's what disclosure is. You're supposed to get clear path to these offices when you got a question, whether they like it or not. So now we know that Coinbase reps openly lie to you on the phone. The trust level has went from 0 to -1. All right, posting this.